The sun's shining again. We've got beautiful Bali. Seems like Bali. We can pretend, can't we? So just starting with the palms facing upwards and with the hands just at elbow height. Take a moment to connect with your breath. So send the breath down into the belly and finding a fullness there. So starting to awaken the body by awakening this fuller, longer, deeper breath. And with every breath, imagining not only saying yes to the breath, but yes to life, welcoming life in, welcoming prana in, maybe even with a smile. That could be the advanced variation if you're up to that today. And maybe even lifting the head a little, looking slightly up to have this more optimal or more optimistic viewpoint. You can start to circle the arms around. We'll do a few half salutes first, inhaling and taking the arms overhead with soft knees. Exhale and fold forward and down. Inhale to lift halfway up, lengthening through the spine. And exhale to fold yourself in. With bent knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. You could also spinal roll. And exhale the hands down into namaste. And going again, inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. And exhale, soft knees, fold forward and down. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, folding. Reverse swan dive, inhaling all the way up, reaching to the fingertips, and exhale, hands into namaste. So as we get into this repetition, this is the last time we're doing this, but as we get into repetition, there can tend to be either a mindlessness, we can drift off, but what we're looking for is to pay attention. So is there something new that you can notice that you haven't noticed before? A sense of stretch somewhere, or a feeling, a sensation somewhere. Maybe it's just last one, folding forward and down. Maybe it's listening to sounds around you. Inhale to lift halfway up. Bend the knees and walk forward to a hands and knees position. Actually a little bit longer, so take the hands forward. Rock back and sink the hips back onto the heels if you can, keeping the toes tucked towards you. So this will be our exhale, and inhale, traveling forward, hopefully into an easy plank position, and exhaling, pressing back. Maybe even melting the forehead to the earth. Inhale to rock forward, and exhaling to rock back. So we're not looking to completely sever the ties to our thinking mind, our rational brain. We absolutely need that aspect of ourselves, but for here, just tapping into more feeling and sensation. So lower yourself down, rise up into Shalabhasana, bringing the hands back, lift through the thighs, and engage through the upper back, lifting the back of the head as well. And exhale to lower. Inhale to rise up through an easy push-up position, and then exhale to downward facing dog. So same movement as we did before. Inhale, traveling forward into plank now. You could do that easier option if you wanted to. Exhale, pressing back. And that magic 3 times, inhaling forward and exhaling to press back. Last one, traveling forward, and press the earth away from you. So there's this buoyancy lifting as you lower. You can then rise up into your back bend, active through the legs, lift through the belly, broaden across the chest, and exhaling to lower. Rise up, lifting through your full or half push-up. So all of our ladder flow is going to begin and end in downward facing dog. So just settle in for a moment. And then inhale and lift your right leg smoothly to the sky. As you exhale, come forward, step the foot forward to the space between the hands, drop the back knee down. Inhale and take the arms up overhead. And exhaling, hands to the earth. Inhale back into your plank position. And exhale to downward facing dog. And then inhaling, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale to step forward all the way to the hands. Drop the back knee down. Inhaling and sweeping the arms up. And exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, back into a plank position. And exhale, find your downward facing dog again. Inhaling, your right leg to the sky. So this time we'll add in a tiger curl. Exhale, tiger curl. Inhale, stretching up and back. Finding a smoothness, finding a flow, stepping into the flow. Same pose, drop the back knee down. Crescent, inhale. And exhaling down. Inhale, back into your plank. And exhale to downward facing. And go left leg. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, tiger curl. Inhale, smoothly up and back. Keep the hips square. And exhale the foot forward to the hands. Drop the back knee down and inhale with one breath. Making sure that that front shin stays vertical. Exhale down. Inhale, find your plank. And exhale back to downward facing dog. So see how your body is getting this cellular memory activated. Inhale the right leg up. Add in the tiger curl. And then this time, instead of the low lunge, you will go to a high lunge. So inhale and taking the arms up overhead. And we'll do this winged warrior. So exhale and tip forward. You've got the crown in line with the back heel and tone through the belly. And we'll do this 3 times. Again, that magic 3. Inhale up. Exhale. Winged warrior, like you had in Shalabhasana there with the upper back activated. And exhaling. Inhale, 2, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands down onto the floor. So again, just trusting your body. Inhale into a plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, tiger curl. Just allow yourself to step into that movement, that flow, and allow yourself to be mesmerized by it, trusting in your body. Inhaling. I just got a microphone malfunction there. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale into your winged warrior. One nice long line between crown and heel. Inhale to lift. And exhaling. A little bit of tone through the belly and the upper back. Inhale to lift. And exhaling. You can then inhale and sweep the arms up. As you exhale, fold, framing the front foot. Inhale into your plank. And exhaling back to downward facing. So keep adding on. Inhale, right leg lifts. Tiger curl. Trusting that the body remembers the next move. Through that repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Inhale to lift. Exhale, winged warrior. This time adding in Virabhadrasana 3. So launching yourself forward and coming into your Vira 3 position just for a moment. And then bend the standing leg, land lightly, retracing your steps. And exhaling, framing the front foot again. Inhale into your plank. Ground through the hands, particularly the index finger knuckle presses into the earth. Inhaling, left leg lifts. And tiger curl. So adding in the Vira 3 on this side. Inhaling to lift. Winged warrior. Launching forward from here, finding your Vira 3 shape. And then bending into the standing leg, landing lightly. One breath, inhaling to lift and exhale, framing the front foot. Inhale back to your plank and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, stretching the right leg up. Exhale to coil. Lifting smoothly up. And then stepping it through. So adding in now, we're going to add in Garudasana. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Inhaling. And exhale here, stabilizing through the core. Inhale to lift the knee up to the chest. And exhale across and into Garuda. So we've got the left leg over, go right elbow on top. And sinking in a little deeper. Inhaling, lifting, and reversing, hitting the rewind button. Taking a moment in each so that we know it's not a fluke. And exhaling down. Inhale into your plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. Again, just allowing yourself to be mesmerized by the movement. Left leg. Tiger curl. So simply adding your Garudasana here. Inhaling to lift. Winged warrior. Vira 3. Exhaling to stabilize through the core. And when you're aware of center like that, it will make the transition easier. So you feel free to have the toes on the floor, but if you can, hook all the way around. And it would be your left elbow on top. And sinking down a little deeper, Okay, so stepping into that flow, trusting that flow, unraveling, hitting the rewind button. Inhale into your plank and exhale, downward facing dog. So let's take one palate cleanser, your plank, lifting through the belly, lifting through the thighs. Press the earth away from you and lowering down, either all the way, or you could hover in chaturanga and work on your connecting vinyasa. Rise back up through your full or half push-up and back to downward facing. And again, let's just step straight back into this stream of consciousness, stream of movement. Right leg lifts, tiger curl. And stepping forward. So adding in here a figure 4 shape, a figure 4 chair pose. Exhale. Inhaling, launching. Exhale to stabilize. Inhaling to lift. And exhale into your Garudasana. It's just a gesture. Inhale to lift. And exhale into this figure 4 shape. So it's like a chair pose, figure 4. And pausing there for a moment. So some of you might be able to go a little deeper, and that's entirely up to you. Do keep that left foot very active, toes drawing back towards you. And then let's unravel again, smoothly, slowly. stepping back. Great. So straight back to downward facing. And then go left leg. So again, adding in this figure 4 chair pose. So repetition and feeling your body and how it learns so well, learns so quickly exactly what needs to happen. I remember watching Free Solo, so it's left elbow on top here, and how Alex Honnold, he climbed the northwest face of Yosemite, the Half Dome, and the way that he did that Free Solo was to just repeat over and over and over again, and repetition, as well as visualization, and it was just in his muscle memory, and that's how he could do it without any ropes, which is pretty amazing. It's an incredible movie if you haven't seen it. Let's unravel. Total free state, flow state. So coming back, inhale into your plank and exhale to downward facing. We're going to add in a chair pose proper now, but with a twist. Inhale your right leg up and exhaling. Feel that this pathway is well worn, like a garden path, and that it's actually warm and welcoming. Inhale to lift, exhale. It doesn't really matter which arm comes across. Just come straight into your figure 4 shape. Inhale to lift. And then bring both feet together and twisting yourself over to the left side. And pausing here for a moment, twisting and opening. Actually let that right knee come forward so the sacrum can twist, and broaden across the chest. Looking up if that's okay for you. And then you can release and touch down. Inhale to lift halfway up. Plant the hands, step yourself back. Plank, inhale, and exhale to downward facing. And left side, inhaling, left leg lifts. Tiger curl. Stretch it up and back. Stepping forward. I don't even have to tell you, your body just knows where to go. How wonderful. Inhaling, launching forward. Exhale here to stabilize. And then lifting. Garuda, crossing the thigh over. And then simply slide the leg across and coming into this figure 4 shape. Then inhale to lift. Exhale the foot down and straight into the twist. Twisting over to your right side now. Twisting around. Actively pressing the left upper arm to the thigh to open across the chest. And again, rather than knees together, actually let the left knee come forward. It's far healthier for your sacroiliac joint. All right, and then inhaling through your chair, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift and stepping back into your plank. And then back into downward facing dog. Okay, so one more, add in, inhaling. So we're going to add in that, so it's your right leg and we're flowing. Add in that Parsvakonasana twist. Inhale. So dropping that thinking mind, really getting into feeling so intimately exactly what's going on. Garudasana, into your figure 4, deepening that if you can, and then foot down, chair pose, twisting yourself over to the left side. Take the weight onto that left foot and step the right leg back, twisting and opening. Pause here, lingering, enjoying these few luscious moments. And then let's dissolve like the wave dissolves as it washes upon the shore. In through your plank and down dog. Then left side, inhaling. The bird calls around here are just so beautiful. I hope you can hear them. So there's a heightened awareness in the flow state of not only when your body is just doing what it knows, not in a robotic way, but very present and awake and alert, then the senses become far more attuned, active. You take in everything. There's almost a feeling of dissolving into the oneness. So we twist off to the right side, and left and rights dissolve as well, so pardon if I get things wrong. We step the left leg back now and opening and twisting yourself around, right in through that back leg, and then releasing down, step through your plank, exhaling back into downward facing. So feel free to rest if you wanted to, but your body might just be absolutely singing with joy the same way as these birds around me are singing for one more round. Yes, one more round, please, Vanessa. Inhale the right leg up and exhale to tiger curl. Up and forward. Into your crescent. Winged warrior. Vera 3, trusting yourself. You have everything that you need within you now. Garudasana. Straight across into the figure 4. Rise and lift. And twisting, if you can, straight over to that left side. Pause. Get your center and step the right leg back, twisting and opening. In, releasing the hands down with your exhale. Inhale to your plank. And exhale to downward facing. And then I'm just going to flow with you here. So rather than instruct, really tuning in, trusting. Everything that you need is within you now. That this flow state is an optimal state, heightened state. And if you get it wrong, no problem. As always, it's just a yoga pose. Maybe again the advanced version is to do it with a little cheeky smile on your face. We are twisting to the right leg. Inhaling here and exhale back into your downward facing dog. So now melt into child's pose from all this movement, So movement can be what's called rajasic. It can be aggravating. However, when it's done in this way, with such a wonderful presence, such an intimate connection inside, that inner landscape being constantly surveyed. Just feel the difference in that it's soothing, that it's calming, reassuring even. This is it's more extreme athletes that really get into the flow state, but we as yogis certainly do get that yoga high. But it's called the zone, and you just be present there. Like the volume on the thoughts of the rational thinking mind have been turned down just a little, just enough. And then from child's pose, you can rise up and allow your hips to come to one side, so you can bring your legs forward and into beach pose for a moment. And twisting yourself side to side, so looking over the left shoulder as the knees go to the right side, and then switching. So taking this a little further, when you are come through center next, if you can, without your hands, use the intelligence in the body. Bring the right leg on top of the left thigh. So it's like a seated threading the needle pose. It's like that figure 4 shape we were doing a moment ago. And just begin with a little bit of rocking side to side, little bit of rocking. And then taking it further, and allow the shin to trace that horizon, the pathway of the summer sun through the sky, that incredible arc through the sky. And then from here you can stay down on go to the left side and stay down there. So your right foot is flat on the floor and you're facing the long edge of your mat. Then straighten the bottom leg out, so that's your left leg towards the front of the mat. And just have both sets of toes facing towards the long edge of the mat. So we'll take a few flows here, standing down firm through the feet. Inhale and lift the hips up into a side bend or a side plank variation. And then exhaling and sweeping the arm. So with your breath, inhale to lift up, engaging through the hips and exhaling. Then this one, if you're able to, reaching in front of the shin and reaching to tap the foot, if that's possible. And twice more like that. Inhale. And if your wrist is sore or shoulder is sore, then perhaps you could even do this on the forearm as well, which is a good option to have up your sleeve. All right, so then next time you get like this, see how my upper arm is in front of the shin. Just see how you go being in this position. Plant your left hand down onto the floor, and if you're able to, lift the hips up. So I don't know if you can see from that angle, but there is sunshine there. All right, and then coming down. And turn back to the front, but have this leg crossed over, your right leg crossed over still. So either staying here, or if it's okay, so if you've got any sacroiliac issues, I wouldn't recommend doing this position and folding forward. If you don't have sacroiliac issues, then it's a fabulous hamstring stretch. And so you can fold forward and bow your head in. I am protective of my sacroiliac, so I'm just going to stay here. But you do what is right for you, listening inwardly rather than outwardly. One of those incredible gifts that yoga brings us. This inner listening and inner trust, trusting in yourself. How wonderful. What a blessing. I know you're having a wonderful time in there, but you can make your way up and then uncross the legs. So you've got the right foot flat to the floor and the left leg can stay straight. Plant the hands behind you. So I go fingers pointing towards the corners of the mat and then lifting yourself up. And come up into a regular reverse table position, lifting, engaging through the hips, and then lowering yourself down. And we'll flip to the second side of this flow, so a little bit of side to side movement. And perhaps looking over the opposite shoulder to accentuate that opening. So now we go without the hands if possible. Left foot comes on top. I'm just facing towards you for this round. Just a little bit of movement first. A little bit of side to side movement. And then touching the foot down to the floor. If you're able to, making it larger, but keeping this shin tracing the summer sun pathway. And with this last one, the next time you go over to the right side, you plant that foot down, so you're probably going to be along the long edge of the mat. Straighten the bottom leg out, and remember this becomes almost like our, it's going to be our foundation, our base for the side plank position. So then planting the right hand down onto the floor, press into the feet and inhaling to lift. And we do 3 just with the hand sweeping back, tracing that horizon line and staying high for now. Do 2 or 3 of those. And then we're going to come in front of the shin as best you can. So inhale to lift. And then exhaling and come across, and if you can, tap the foot. Inhale. This move isn't for everyone. Can depend on arm and leg length ratio, can depend on hip opening. So it's, please don't ever beat yourself up about not being able to do a yoga pose. It's just a yoga pose. So let's hold here, and then if you're able to, so this is baby grasshopper position. You need to, this is probably a great angle, you'll see that I need to travel forward. So planting the right hand, reach the left hand for the right foot, and then lifting up by traveling forward. So it's never going to happen if I'm leaning back here, but that travel and lifting. Not so much thinking about it, but just trusting that surge of energy moving forward. So then we'll come back up and choose to either stay here or crossing the thigh all the way over and coming into your forward fold. So for me, I'm going to go into the twist just because I like my sacroiliac nicely knitted together. And but if you can do that other pose, fabulous, wonderful, wonderful posture for opening up through the hamstring as well as the outer hip. So in a moment, I'll give you the option of trying for your Garudasana, which is the flying pigeon pose. So you can plant the foot down and just reaching the hands back. So you've got your right leg straight and left leg is bent. Take an inhale and lifting, opening up through the front of the body. Release the right foot to the floor and lifting and opening. And then it's yogi's choice. You either bring the hips down and come down onto your back if you're ready for Shavasana. But if you'd like to give this flying pigeon pose a bit of a nudge, then let's cross the legs over and step yourself back into downward facing dog. So for starters, let's inhale the left leg to the sky. And exhale, knee into the chest. Just come into pigeon pose on that left side. But rather than just sitting into the pose, let's be quite active here and hug everything into the midline. Lift and open through the front of the body. And then exhale and fold as deep as you can. We're not here for long, so turn to mush. Dissolve and flatten. And then inhaling to lift yourself up. Plant the hands down onto the earth like for plank pose. And that's what your hands are going to be like as you come into flying pigeon. Then activate this left foot and look at the left toes and flex that left foot like crazy. Those left toes are going to be around your right armpit. So have a look at that. Yes, just mapping them there. Inhale to stretch up and back, and then releasing the left foot down. Take an inhale and stretching the right leg to the sky. Exhale, tiger curl. Just feel inside how your body, as we take this pathway again, that your body just knows it intrinsically. It knows what to do. Traveling forward, lifting. We're going to go straight into that figure 4 shape. So you could stay here, or if you wanted to, planting the hands down onto the floor and then hooking those left toes around the right upper arm and perhaps lifting the right toes off the floor, or maybe stretching that right leg up and back. Perhaps, but it's enough to just lift the foot up off the floor. And then let's unravel and come back through our chair pose. Inhaling here, exhale, twist to the left, and stepping the right leg back, not for a long time, just planting the hands. Inhale, plank, and exhale, down dog. So that might have come out of nowhere, but let's come through the second side. So lift your right leg, come forward and into pigeon pose, just for a moment. Lift the chest, and then folding yourself forward and down. Allowing maybe a deeper opening through that right outer hip. Getting ready to let your pigeon fly. They're not elegant creatures, but they can still fly, so that's cool, very cool. All right, you can then plant the hands down. Just for a moment, have a look at this configuration. So flex your right foot, right toes back, and know that those right toes are going to be hugging around the left upper arm here and as high as possible. So if those toes go flat, then they sag, then they are going to slip off the arm. So they need to stay very active, hugging back against the upper arm. All right, so from here, stretch up and back. Last little flow. Inhale the left leg. And tiger curl. Stepping back into our ladder flow that your body knows so well. And it should actually feel quite soothing and even sweet. Inhale to lift. Exhale straight into your figure 4 shape and pause. So that might be it for you, or if you wanted to, Coming down, planting the hands, and again there needs to be that travel forward and hooking the toes around and then lifting the foot up, maybe stretching the left leg back if you wanted to, and unraveling, planting the feet together, chair pose, twisting off to the right, and then stepping back. Inhale, plank pose, and exhale to downward facing dog. And then melt the knees down onto the earth. And either pause into child's pose, or if you really need a rest, but if you're able to, stay with us. Swing the legs to the side. We're actually moving towards Shavasana, so it shouldn't be too taxing. So coming onto your hips, and again this little bit of rocking side to side. Come down onto the elbows. Ah, sunshine. And part reptile. Lizard person. Coming out and onto your back. And so it's not flow done in a mindless, agitated way, but flow with complete presence. And even that dissolving into oneness. So we have done quite a few twists. You should be okay to lie straight into Shavasana, but if you need to twist, that's fine. So twisting or not, and eventually finding your sweet spot of Shavasana. Allow the entire back body to begin to dissolve into the earth, the same way as rain is absorbed by the earth. And then begin to dissolve the front body as well. So the same way that the fragrance of a flower would emanate out into the space around. Have this feeling of expanding, merging out just into the space around you, but then you can keep going, maybe out and fill the room, and like that fragrance of a flower extend out around your suburb. Spreading this feeling of oneness, extending, emanating out even further and further. Until you come into that feeling, that experience of oneness, of wholeness, whatever that is for you. How do you notice it? What's the experience like for you? For some it's peace, for some it's a complete dissolving of boundaries, that you experience yourself as spacious and open and sublimely free. Like you are the single drop of water that has melted into the ocean and instantly become the entire ocean. can take the lessons and learnings from this practice and apply them into yourself and into your day and into all your relationships and all your connections that you have today. When you're ready, you can come on up, awakening your body as you see fit. You know best. And feeling into that vastness that you are, that you have tapped into this experience of the greater self, the higher self, the infinite self. And perhaps you can have glimpses of that today and act through that, speak through that. We're not looking to get rid of rational mind. Both sides of us are vital, especially at this time. Yet stay open, stay connected. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for your practice.